Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. So it's my friends at yarnspirations.com. Today is a technique video on what happens when you run out of yarn midway through a row or a round. What happens when the one ball runs out and the other one happens, or there's a knot in the ball that you need to cut out. Here's what you're going to do. Welcome to my channel, and I'm here to inspire you, give you crochet advice, and help you along with your next project. If you enjoyed this pattern, please give me a thumbs up or even comment so I can gauge your interest. It helps me to know what to film next. So let me just pretend that this has been cut and I'm jumping from one ball to another, or I've just cut out a knot. You can decide on what your purpose is going to be today. So what I want to do is that I'm doing double crochet and I want to continue with this particular strand, and so I want to leave a long enough tail so I can deal with the drama later. And so what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to start the double crochet and I'm going to go into the next stitch, and I'm going to pull through and hold so that there's 3 loops here. This strand is the end of the line. Bye-bye. So bad. Sorry to see you go. And we have a new one, and I want to leave a long enough strand so I can deal with the drama on that, meaning the loose ends. And I want to create a slip knot so that I can create the tie, because the tie is always what's going to be most secure. So it's going to be a slip knot. What I want to do is pull my project back up, and instead of wrapping the yarn and pulling it through 2 and 2, I'm going to slip this on and secure it to my hook. Now once it's on the hook, what you want to do is that the strand that is the loose end, just get it out of the way so you don't accidentally use it, and then you are going to pull that slip knot through the first 2 and then yarn over, and this is the new yarn in my hand, and pull through the final 2. And you're just gonna let the yarn strands fall in behind, and you're just going to double crochet or whatever stitch you're deciding to do. Today is focused on double crochet, and what you're just going to do is you're just going to continue to crochet as you normally would. So you technically on the front side here can just barely tell that you've changed the yarn, and when you have a knot in the ball, it's the best way to do it is just to cut it out, because the knots can get through into the front side of the work. Okay, so I'm happy I've changed my ball. So what am I gonna do with the loose ends that are left? Let's turn the project over and let's deal with the drama. Okay, so what we have here is we have 2 strands, and we need to deal with these strands individually, so don't put them onto the same tapestry needle at the same time. So just get your tapestry needle out, and yes, does this slow you down? Absolutely, but you know, when I actually cut out a few feet of yarn out of a project, it's like the world freezes over or something. People get really dramatic about it. So this is a great way to get the maximum amount of yardage out of all of your yarn balls. So what I want to do is just favor the back of the project, and I want to split it so that it actually splits plies apart. If you just weasel your way through stitch work itself, through the strands in between them, it'll come out. But if you're splitting the plies like I am here, it will be a lot better for you, and you want to go about 1 inch. And so I'm going in the direction from which I was crocheting. So I was crocheting this way, so I'm going in the opposite direction, and I'm gonna pull this, and when I pull it the first time, I want to make sure that I don't change the shape of anything or the tension, so you can see that it still looks good. So now in a slightly different path, I want to just go back in the direction I came. I never want to see this needle popping out the other side of the work, because that's the good side of the work. I'm looking at the back of the project, which is the wrong side. So when I turn it over, I should never see that needle popping through. Okay, so you're gonna go that way, and then finally the last one here, again a slightly different path. Take your time. Sometimes I rush on camera. This needle always scares me. This is a leather needle. People ask me about this one. You'll find it in the leather section of the craft store. So if you go back and forth a total of 3 times, it should be pretty much invisible. And then you still have that other strand to deal with. So the other strand, you're just gonna pick it up. And do you notice that this strand is coming down from here? So what I want to do is just stay down there. Or what I can do is force it to travel up the same section. Okay, So it looks like it matches, and when I pull it the first time I don't want to change anything, any shaping, and then I want to drag it back and forth a total of 3 times like I showed you. And once you get that done, what happens is that this 2 strands that you have just became a kind of a 1. So I want to drag it through a little bit more than that, but I want to finish today's tutorial. So what you'll have at the end is that you'll have that you change the ball right here. You can slightly see it, but it's almost virtually impossible. And once you get more layers onto this, it's actually gonna be probably something you won't even notice in the future. So if you weave it in the back side really good, a total of 3 times back and forth, it's going to be good, and this will help you get the maximum amount of yardage out of your ball and be able to deal with the knots, just in case you have those as well. So that's it for today. We hope you have a good one. It's Mikey from the Crochet Crowd. This is my friends at theyarnspirations.com.